for everything I am with you. And this is the hardest working brother I know. Y'all give Mr. Keith a hand.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God. And I bear witness that Abraham, that Moses, that Jesus, and that Muhammad are his messengers. As a student of truth, I've been taught that God is one and so too should we all be. That we shouldn't find ourselves divided one from another on the principle of a label. I heard Minister Farrakhan once say that we should be at least as wise as a wino, in that when there's a certain feeling and he walks into the store and he's got $20 in his pocket, it doesn't matter what labels are on the bottles. What's most concerning to that wino is what is the effect of what's found in those bottles. Now, of course, we don't drink wine, we drink truth. And we're grateful to have this opportunity to share what affects our people's lives. There is a passage in the Bible that bears a witness to the necessity of meetings such as these. In the book of Hosea, the 4th chapter and 6th verse, it reads, "My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge." And it goes further to share that if we reject knowledge, then God would reject us. Well, that's fitting because as we are given truth in the Holy Quran, one of the descriptives of God is that he's the best knower. And if he is the best knower and we are called to be one with him, then surely it becomes our duty to rise up in knowledge to become more in harmony with him, so that it can be found that we are bearers of witness in our action. That when the Bible says, "Be ye perfect, even as I am perfect," surely in order to attain perfection requires a more perfect knowledge. So we welcome you back to the Town Hall. Pardon my voice, I think you might hear there's a little gravel to it. I'm not trying to do my Lou Rawls imitation today. I'll save that for Brother Onunzi. But we are certainly very pleased to see each and every one of you here again. On last Saturday, we spent part of the afternoon with the activist community that is fighting against gang injunctions here in the city of Oakland, who gathered at Bushrod Park on this past Saturday to bring supporters together. Wanda, Oscar's mother, and Jack Bryson, and many other activists that have been and are present in our town hall meetings were there on this past Saturday to address this issue of gang injunctions. Isn't it interesting that as the economy continually worsens, that the measures to enforce the law are continually increasing? One would think, given the failing of the economy, that politicians would take more time trying to find a way to address the failing economy. But that is not politically expedient because they don't know the way. So that when we look at these that are our elected officials, 9 out of 10 have no idea what to do about the failing economy. Solving the failing economy for them may be perhaps compared to stopping an oil well from leaking out in the Gulf. BP has no solution to the problem, but worse yet, BP created the problem by shortcutting what would be good for humanity so that they could more easily see to profits into their own pockets. This kind of problem exists where you find that companies such as BP have many of the elected officials in their hip pockets, so that the very agencies that government has established to protect people from corporate greed have been known to turn the other way and to wink at those corporate entities that have not the health and interests of the people, the survival of the environment at heart. There are some who think that they should just grab all of the wealth that exists and take it to their graves with them. But unfortunately, not only are they attempting to take all the wealth to their own grave, worse yet, they want us to follow them there. So you're talking about a people that rule the world for greed's sake. Minister Farrakhan said it this way: the root of America's suffering is basic immorality and vanity, where greed, lust, and an inordinate self-interest have become a way of life. So that when that great company, not good company, great meaning big and significant, British Petroleum, oil, put pipes into the ground to bring the oil upward in order to save themselves a few pennies in the build, they did not utilize the equipment that would stand the test of time and environment. And now for their use of cheap equipment, the damage that is being done to that part of the world is untold. There are millions and millions and millions of dollars. Did I say millions? I'm sorry. Billions of dollars and millions of gallons of oil in the water because of corporate greed. Well, when we are confronted by these things called gang injunction, what is the relationship between a call for gang injunctions and corporate interest? We've spoken here about a new expression that came out of the Wall Street Journal about the changing demographics of the major cities. In the 60s, after the riots, where we fought with police and burnt down parts of cities, many of the Caucasian residents in the inner cities in that era moved away from the inner city, and that was called white flight. But today, what is now being experienced is the opposite. It is an expression coined by the Wall Street Journal called bright flight, meaning there's new interest in returning to the urban centers from those who made the suburbs their resting place. And I don't blame folks who want to live near here, because who really wants to drive from Stockton to Oakland every day? I've seen people do it. They had a man the other day in San Francisco ran over 4 people on bicycles, or 6 people. He evidently lost his mind, and I don't know if he was suffering of road rage, but I know that if I had to make that drive every day, I would have to pray before I leave, pray in the middle, and pray when I get to the other end, because that kind of traffic will drive you back. When you couple that traffic with $3.35 a gallon a year or so ago, approaching $5 a gallon, and then learning that I spend all of my waking hours on the highway, bought a big, beautiful home and haven't sat in the bed yet. Got a big, beautiful home and don't know anything about my living room. Got a big, beautiful home, and even if I had nice furniture, I don't have time to enjoy it. That kind of drive will drive you back. Is that true? Yes, sir. So now, bear witness. I bear witness too. Now, bright flight is just the opposite. They didn't call it that when Attorney General, then Mayor Jerry Brown, declared that his policy would be, or his campaign promise was, to bring 10,000 new residents into the city. Well, those 10,000 new ones left for a reason. Many left because they didn't want Pookie and Ray Ray next door. So now on the return, many want to know What makes you think I'm coming back down there and Pookie and Ray Ray are still there? Therefore, we need to clean up the community. We need to take the community